So like at the same time, I kind of came at the same time. I'm like, oh.
So when did you start producing?
I started, you know what? I got seriously producing probably like 2 years ago. But I had a little drum machine when I was like 17 maybe. I asked my mom to give me when I was younger or something. Ever since then, that's really where it started. I made a little beat and I wrote something to it and I recorded something off a phone and like that's how it was on SouLar.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying?
So when did you start creating music? So producing 2 years ago,
I was
producing like making music.
I mean, yeah, it kind of came at the same time. I was probably 17. I want to say really either 16 or 17. I want to say 17 just to be sure. But yeah, I think it's like 17.
Okay. SouLar was born. There you go, people. Was there anything in particular that was happening in your life that you felt like, oh, I want to create music, or it just happened to be something?
Yeah, I've always loved music. It's always been like a huge part of my life ever since I was younger. Like, it all started with like interestingly enough, like some Vicente Fernandez, ranchera type shit, and then influences got me into like some the rap, rock, Rage Against the Machine type stuff around that era. So yeah, it all kind of it was a crazy combo, and yeah, I'm good. I really have a lot of different influences, which is what I like to be very versatile. And, yeah.
And you hear it in your songs, you know, because you have the sounds are different. Like I like the sounds, and actually it's interesting because I was thinking about like how do we meet? It's like you commented on one of my posts on Instagram. You're like, oh, check this out, you'll like the sounds. Yeah. I was like, all right, like I don't know this person, but like let me check it out. So obviously you had a lot of confidence in like just putting out. Is that something that you do in terms of like marketing your music, or?
Yeah, I mean, I would try to dive into what I see. Art communities, and just to be honest, it's all about showing love first. And like if you genuinely funks with what someone is doing, I believe that's when you show love. And like, you know what I'm saying, I kind of saw you were kind of in that direction. I'm like, okay, look, she may just like the music that I'm doing.
And it's very, very cool that because you know when we ask the universe for what we want, it will come our way, right? I asked for this year to manifest community, like a tribe of people that are like artists wanting to make their money, like people that are just really down for like their cities and wanting to represent and stuff like that. And my friend and I were at a coffee shop and we were talking about doing an event, and these two dudes, like one of the dudes, well, they had been there, but one of the dudes came up. He's like, hey, I overheard y'all ladies talking, like I'm a DJ, like would y'all want to collaborate? I'm like, dude, like yeah. That's so amazing magic right there happening, that you know you're asking for these things and they'll come. Just ask the universe, they'll come, or whatever you believe in, right?
Yeah, no,
universe, la Virgencita, whoever.
Yeah, no, it's really wild. Like, it's funny that you say that. I was just thinking about that. I'm like, what am I gonna talk to HayStack Mujer about?
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? And it was like, man, I was really thinking about that. How when you make something in your mind, like if you can make it a reality, you really can. Like these things start happening, and it's like, do you want to take it or not? Like it's there now. Like I feel like the universe, like you said, the universe, God, like whatever you believe in, like it's really wild, and you just gotta take it. Sometimes it's like literally some leap of faith type things. It's like, should I do that?
No, but sometimes like when people are on the same wavelength, it's like, oh no, like I see you doing like social justice stuff, like you're into art, like okay, let me reach out, you know. So what was it like growing up in Castroville? Artichoke center of the world.
Castroville, shout out, damn. Castroville, yes.
Dude, I had a roommate that was from Castroville. She was like the one person I knew from Castroville, and I visited when we went to her house. We visited her family house. No, I don't like artichokes.
Sorry, go on.
No, but how was it growing up?
Yeah, no, it was interesting. I mean, Castroville is mostly an agricultural community, right? But there's it has everything growing up. It has its troubled parts. It has great people in it too. But it's a small town. It's a small town, mostly made up of the Mexican community, mostly. So growing up, I'm like, oh, it's like all these people, the same as me, whatever. But Castroville, man, what can I say about it? It's for me, it's a very calm place. there's a lot going on there, but I kind of stayed secluded because not secluded, isolated. I isolate myself a lot. But I'm also very much a people person. It's a balance. But Castroville, it's great. It's like 5 minutes away from the beach. You can just take a little dive out. Yeah, but it seems like time is very slow there, and you kind of have time to do everything. I feel, anyways. But it's also a place where I feel like some people might need guidance or like might just want to think a little bigger. There's a lot of people that are thinking really big that are in the art community. Castroville itself, it's funny. Growing up, I never thought there was any rappers or artists coming out of Castroville. I that was what I got growing up. I was like, no, that's Oakland. That's
right.
That's
I
New
can
York.
relate the same way with like Hayward, right? Like you never really saw that in Hayward, or at least I didn't know about it, or it just, when you want to think about like, oh, where do I go for the art? There's no central like place where all the artists meet, so it was very hard to like connect.
Exactly. I really didn't know where to start because I felt like art was always a huge part for me. It was like lacking in a way, but it's funny. I always shout my one of the big homies out right here. I mean, he's helped me out a lot too. More recently, just getting my things straight with Spotify and all that good stuff. Savvy, young Savvy, Nikki C. Shout out
to you.
He was the very first person in Castroville that I ever saw slanging his CDs. Like, hey, you guys check my music out. He even went out and like showed love to the community. He had like a little anthem for like the community football team, like for the kids when I was there. I thought it was so cool. And it was like, he was really the first person that I was like, oh, it's like a little light went out.
That's so cool, and you need those folks that are carving out those pathways for other folks, and I feel like you're doing the same thing. Hopefully for younger artists that are coming up, seeing your Instagram or your website or whatever, oh cool, it's possible in Castroville, right?
That's
to be able to create art.
Definitely. So yeah, that's Castroville, man. That's Castroville, but I think it's important to get a wide spectrum. I love Castroville. I always love going back, visiting the family, getting some artichokes.
Artichokes. That's really cool that because I see you and Ismael Ruelas doing it, right?
Yes,
and so it's very, very key for folks that are, especially in these towns that are like we know that Oakland, San Francisco, San Jose are known for their art. They're metropolitan cities. They have that advantage, right? They also have a disadvantage of like they already have a lot of gentrification that's happening. Here in Hayward, we have it. It's here for sure, but we do have the opportunity, I believe, to be able to fight back, right, by bringing together community through art. And so these places like Hayward, like Castroville, that are not necessarily known as like artistic centers can be brought together like through the people that are from there, that are local, right? I read something about shout out to Masa for La Raza, who is keeping it local, anything for Salinas. So things like that, like local ass shit that is like cool. I can relate to that. I can go to this place and meet other people and network and collaborate, and because we all have gifts and talents, so being able to collaborate with the people that have what we need to get to where we need to go, like, it's super key. Super
important. And just building genuine relationships with them, you know what I mean? That's what I like. I want to genuinely build these, we all have something we can share with each other, a little piece that we can all take and become better with each other, because I feel like we're, like you said, on the same wavelengths, and we have a lot of power to make changes that I think we all have in common.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
for sure.
So I think there's a lot of common ground there, and yeah, it's all about connecting, It's all about connecting and building together.
So I was gonna ask, what has influenced your social justice perspective, your lens? Because it comes out in your music, it comes out that you're just aware of what's happening, and you want to create a change in some way through your music. And so, what has influenced you?
Yeah, I mean, really seeing it in the community, I'm like, man, that's messed up right there. And then a lot of the music that I like points out a lot of what they were seeing. So I think it's only it only came naturally to me.
Like Rage Against the Machine, right?
Yeah, I mentioned that. Ooh. Yeah, right. So I was listening to that at like 5 years old. So you can only imagine. Like it's very natural to me to do that. But I do try to keep it in the music where I'm aware, but I'm like, but there's solutions. We can all, you know what I mean? I always like to, on some Hey Arnold thing, like, oh, let's look at the positive side of that. No, but I know everything's not always like that, but it's about moving forward, I feel.
Yeah, and I've had conversations with artists where sometimes you gotta sprinkle that social justice into the music, and people think, you know, it's fun, but it's like, oh, you're getting these deep messages, right? That's the way people sometimes relate, because when you're kind of preaching or whatever it is, right, or it's too heavy, people are kind of like, oh, it's too much, like, you know. So being able to have that balance of being able to be an activist or active in your community, but still keeping it fun, engaging, you know, laughing, comedy, you know. Recently I saw this post by, shout out to Potatoes Mashed Comedy, who she went to the women's march in San Francisco, and she had this big ass check, $5.7 billion check for Donald Trump for his wall. But she was yelling, "Wah, I love tacos, wah, I love tacos." So shit like that. Shout out to you, dude. I was hella cracking up. But like shit like that is like, okay, we can talk about the wall, but we could also have fun and like understand that this has been happening to our communities for, like, this is not new, right? Like there's always something coming up, but it's like, okay, how do we take it in stride? Understand that we have the power to change things, and we individually can do whatever it is we want to do in a fun way, in our own way, to be able to create a change, right? And you're doing it through music.
Exactly. That's very important to keep it all in there. You know, I mean, it's always it's music is powerful. You know what I mean? And I think that's a great gateway to get people to think, get some light bulbs going. You know?
Yeah,
music, art, all that.
Yes.
Yeah,
like I said, you do it with your music. You know, if you listen to SouLar's music, there's little gems in there that are sprinkled in, get you thinking, get you provoked mind, provoking other people too. You get provoked and you provoke other people, because seriously, we gotta like snap out of it.
Yeah,
there's a lot going
wild.
on. We can't pretend like I'm just gonna sit back and let them figure it out. It's like, dude, we're all in this. You know?
It's wild times right now, and there's a lot of things going into people's brains with social media, with all these. I mean, we got something. We have to be aware of what we're letting into our brains. I feel, and let people know that, because I feel like a lot of us are just influenced by things that are being spoon fed to us, and we can't let that happen.
Yeah, dude. I hear you.
Yeah.
TV, it's everywhere. TV, magazines, ads, even our own people. Sometimes I see it. You know, people that are, I don't know.
I mean, our cultures aren't all perfect. You know what I mean? Like, even in our cultures, there's little things that, you know, like in ours, it's like machismo. What is it? Machismo, and it's like, there's little things like so. In every single way, we gotta also look at ourselves. We're not just gonna be like, oh, it's just, you know, like, because you know it's all balance.
Yeah, dude, I hear you. Like we do have to put ourselves under that microscope and understand, like, okay, how am I contributing to the things that are going wrong or whatever it is? And it's not to treat ourselves poorly, but it's also like we need to, you know, critically analyze ourselves as well, and then be able to move forward and you know, change things up. And again, like, change doesn't have to be this whole like, I'm gonna save the world. It's do it at your own pace, do it in your own way. You know, it could be as simple as like, I'm gonna help this person cross the street. Like, you're helping. That's like so simple right there. The elderly person or
y'all
whatever
listening? That's so important right there. That's like just everyday things. Just be a freaking light to this
world.
Nice.
Be genuinely nice.
Be genuinely nice.
Yes.
Man. Like, what? I'm not even on some what happened to that, because I know there's a lot of like genuinely nice people. You know, I mean, it's cool. So it's just about passing it on and you know, some each one teach one type thing.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, every opportunity.
Yes, sir. So you have an upcoming show.
Oh man.
February 15th with X Rated in San Jose. Back Bar Sofa.
Super excited about that. I grew up listening to X Rated, you know, and his story was always so crazy to me, you know. he was literally making music from prison on some like. You could tell he was a changed man. You could tell he was kind of a product of the system, and he kind of saw it while he was in there. So like.
So they had a music studio inside the prison.
At first, he was only doing it through a phone. Mac Dre himself actually taught him how to do that. He talks about it in an interview. It's very interesting. But yeah, he would get an opportunity to record. He said sometimes there's only like once every 2 years, so he had to just go in there and just spit his ass off. It was. But anyways, X-Rated, super big influence on me, and so it's honestly like you know what were we just talking about, this manifesting destiny thing. So this opportunity just came up at a perfect time, and I took it. And I'm super excited. February 15th, and it's all.
How can the people get tickets? Come through
directly from me. I actually have tickets. Got that PayPal, Venmo. You know, I can mail them to you, or just come through the show and I'll get them to you. Come through.
How much is it?
$25 per ticket.
$25.
Yeah, it's gonna be well worth it.
People, reach into your wallets. This is supporting artists that are local, that are trying to make it, that are going global, that are making it happen.
And it's a great show. It's gonna be a really dope show too. So
cool.
Don't miss out on that.
Looking forward to checking it out. And yeah, tell us more about. So what else do you want to bring in? What other artists are you trying to work with?
Yeah,
what are you trying to bring in?
I am currently working on a lot of new music that I'm super excited about. I believe it's music that I love, that I genuinely think it's gonna be dope. I'm working with Cal Paradox. He's one of the older homies from Salinas also. Shout out Cal Paradox. He's handing me down a lot of great beats, knowledge on mixing. We have a project that's coming out soon. Another project that's coming from is another producer from Salinas named Ant Serrato, handing me some great beats. Also, just versatile. I have a few projects coming. Another one I want to shout out. Talented, aka Beastly, got a collab project coming with him. J.O. the Beat Legend, that was going to be a little bit more on the new wave type of thing. So there's going to be a lot of good stuff coming. The best of SouLar coming soon each and every time. So I'm super excited to show the world what's coming and where the direction we're headed, and it's all coming together. It's all coming together at the perfect time. Connecting with great artists in Southern California, as I'm now living down there, and up here in Northern California. Obviously, got a great base of just artists and people, and just that we're connecting with, and we're getting some great things going. Shout out also Ismael Ruelas, who's he's like a brother to me. He's also killing it in the art game. I see him doing big things, and it inspires me to also go out and reach for bigger things. So having friends that are artists, is like, that's funny. Genuine relationships with people like that. We were friends before, like when we were both on some like starting out type of thing. So it's crazy to see it all happen. All these late conversations we had about all this that's now happening, and just keeping moving it forward, because this is not, you know what I mean? We've still got a lot of work to do, and I'm super excited for all that's to come.
For you, when will you feel like I made it? All this has been worth it.
That's a crazy good question. I feel like I would have made it. I feel very fulfilled as of now. You know, if I were to just die tomorrow, whatever, knock on wood, whatever. I feel like I would have made it. No,
not yet.
You know what I mean? Like, I did that, but I really I feel like I would really have made it if I inspired at least one person, but I would like to inspire a massive amount of people to spark something in their brain that's going to make a change in their mind, that's going to change the world. It's going to make the world for a better place on some everyday thing type of stuff. And that's when I think I would have made it. How would I know that though, right? Also, another one is, I mean, if I can make a living off of this music, obviously this art off of this brand, you know, SouLar, that'd also be another. All these things come together.
It's out there. The money's out there.
It's out there.
Yes, it's coming your way.
So that's what.
Where in the world do you want your music to be heard?
Where in the world? Honestly, I would love to be worldwide. I would love to be worldwide. Yeah.
Good. You're in the right place.
Yeah.
Global media platform. This is the place to talk about that stuff, dude. Yes,
you know what I mean?
I want to hear that because why can't we be global?
Exactly.
Especially us as Chicanos, you know. I feel like we've been very much robbed of our artists. I don't know. Sometimes I'm in a conspiracy theory type of thing, but you know, they took Richie Valens, they took Selena, and it's just like, where are the Chicano artists? Dude, they have so much power.
But it's dragging their names through the dirt whenever there's any, you know, I mean, not only killing them, but if there's any, I don't know. I know what you mean.
So much power there, dude. Selena, oh my god. So like,
yeah,
we need those artists. And right now, one of the hopes is like, I love Cuco. Like, dude, he reminds me so much of like reincarnated Richie Valens, right? But it's like we need that. And I didn't grow up with that. Like I don't like. I didn't grow up. I saw Britney Spears, Beyonce. Like there was nobody that looked like me growing up, right? So there's definitely a frustration, almost like a resentment of like, dude, we're so talented and we have the capacity. It's just that like they never like. Who is it? Who's out there, right?
You've been put out there, Takashi. Like you know what I mean? Like what are you gonna? You know what I mean? You know why are you dragging our name on the dirt like that? You know? Was that a plant? Dun dun dun.
That's why I'm like, dude, is this a conspiracy theory? Like
why is he out there? But it's cool though. I mean, you can't knock on people's hustle, but just things like that, man. Like, why are y'all gonna put us in a light like that? But
I mean, it is what it is. But that's why it is very important for me to highlight artists that are doing it right. Especially everybody. I want to talk to everybody, but there's obviously a special place in my heart for Chicanos, Chicanas, because I'm a Chicana, right? And so us being of Mexican descent, yet having grown up here, right, is very like
knowing the frustration.
We have so much power that we have both American culture, Mexican culture. We have English, Spanish, you know, like we just are able to connect in a lot of ways, like growing up listening to hip hop and then coming to a place of recognizing, you know what, like they're not talking about me, they're not talking about my story. I love it, I do, like I started listening to it when I was 7 years old, but they're not talking about me. Like, so it's like, who's talking about me and my story? Well, your music actually talks to me a little bit more, right? But
I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. So that's hilarious that you say that.
If anybody else feels like that too, it's like, dude, we're on the same boat.
We're on the same boat, man. I know the struggle. Can't be dealing with our people saying the N-word too. What's up with that? You know, can't put up with that. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Alright, dude, pues, if you want to listen to SouLar, come to the show on the 15th. Find them at one SouLar on Instagram. And then online, it's onesoular.com. So reach out, dude.
Yeah.
Reach out. Haven't done the intro.
What was that?
I haven't done the intro. So welcome to HayStack, Mujer TV. I'm your host, Rosaura Figueroa Mendoza, Rosa Salvaje. And guess who we have? We have SouLar in the house.
In the house. Thank you, Rosaura.
Rapper, producer, artist.
Honor.
God, it says on your Instagram.
I was talking about that. Yeah, okay. But I know what you mean. I can see how that could be misconstrued. Hey, it's an honor to be here.
Who doesn't want to be a rap god, though?
A rap god.
Hey. All right, dude.
It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you for coming through. You're in the heart of the Bay, dude. Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you for always supporting, always showing love. It's been years of support, mutual support. So
yeah, for sure. So what is on the horizon other than we got the show, we got the music that you're working on? As a musician, you know, you're working on your stuff, but we also are human beings, right? So like, what's going on other than just as a human being, like on a human level? Definitely.
Well, as we were talking about, I lived in Castroville my whole life, and I recently, about a year ago, made the move out to Southern California, Inland Empire. I'm living out there with my brother. working, trying to get better with, you know what I mean? This art thing can only get us so far. I'm also going to school now, thanks to my brother. So shout out Carlos. Yeah. Nah, it's very interesting because this stuff that I'm learning in electronics, all these waves are just directly correlated to these music waves that I'm working with, all this mixing and all that. So, you know, with all this happening, it's all happening at the perfect time, and trying to make a living too, you know. So
yeah, for sure.
Hopefully we can make a living with this music thing. We will at one point, but
till
then, you know what I mean. Like we gotta have that money coming in if we wanna be getting out there like that. So
how old are you right now?
I'm 24.
And you've been doing music since 17?
Since I was 17. Yeah.
So one of the trends that I've seen with musicians, that it takes at least 10 years.
Oh yeah.
To, you know, that's something that I've seen of, like, you know, starting at 16, making it, and it doesn't have to be that way, but I've noticed it, like, enough for it to be a trend, right? Okay, it takes at least 10 years to be like, you're really committed to something, and then it starts popping off, right? And so it's really exciting to, like, see artists that are, like, grinding. It's like, all right, dude, you're gonna make it. Yeah. One day it's coming, but it's coming.
Man. It's been a long grind. But I've loved it all. You know, there's been a lot of struggle. You know, all of this personal stuff, but then all this beautiful stuff with the music going on, and it's been a dope journey up to this point, and we're gonna keep working at it, and we're gonna get it. You know.
Yeah, dude. Cool. So, where do you want to go tour?
Where do I want to go tour?
Where's a venue that you're like, okay, if I freaking do a show there, I'm like,
dang,
made it.
That'd be dope. I mean, I want to say New York City would be very dope. I mean,
Madison Square Garden?
Madison Square Garden. You know what I mean? I think that would be it. Mm-hmm. And, of course, Bay Area. That would be dope to do, like, some amphitheater type thing, or, like out in Mountain View,
Oracle Arena?
San Francisco. Oracle Arena would be freaking dope.
Cool.
You know what I mean? That type of thing. That's what I'm reaching for.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Love doing shows. Love doing live shows. Always got to bring that energy, whether it's 4 people or 4,000, whatever. Yeah,
there's something about it. I definitely want to start doing, like, putting together shows here in Hayward and building that scene, continuing to build the scene. Because, like I mentioned, like, there's no. It's like if an artist, like if a young artist is like, I want to go perform. It's like, where, like, what is the structure for you to be able to go perform, right? There's nothing currently there, right? So slowly trying to build it, slowly trying to make that happen. There's definitely venues and spots in downtown Hayward, people that you could talk to, connect with. It's just a matter of making those connections, building those genuine relationships, like you said, right? We all have things that we can give to other people that can help them, and vice versa, right? Like, they can help us in where we're going, right? And so I'm excited to definitely connect with people and be able to work together and collaborate, right? And being able to create, like, being able to get paid to tell stories is, like, a huge thing for me as well. Like you mentioned, like, being able to get money. A lot of the time, like, this art, it's a labor of love. No one's paying me, like, necessarily, right? But I'm also trying to educate my mind so that I understand my worth and understand that the things that I'm doing this is valuable, and that I could sell it in some way as a product, right? So definitely finding those avenues, and hopefully for you as well, like, recognizing, all right, cool, like, this is my product, this is my business, like, let me sell my product, right? And it's positivity that you're selling, right? It's community, it's love. Like, if people listen to your music, you get that sense of positive vibes, right? So, especially the song Zoom. The song Zoom. Yeah. Everlast is super good. The Everlast is probably my favorite. It talks, well, you know what it talks about, but for the people that haven't heard Everlast, you know, definitely it talks about what HayStack Mujer is about, in terms of HayStack Mujer is a global media platform for storytelling, culture, and entrepreneurship. So make your money, be your own boss, fuck the 9-to-5 grind, because that's a joke.
Preach. Tell him.
So listen to Everlast by this dude.
That's wow. That means the world. You know, that's exactly what we want to go for. Just putting out this music and just inspiring, just things like that. And I love that you're messing with it like that. So that's what it's all about, you know.
Yeah, dude.
Exactly.
For sure. So, Castroville has a population of roughly 6,500 people. So what was that like growing up? Everybody knowing your business. Was it like that, or how was it?
In a way, yeah. Everyone knows each other and stuff. It's that's why I said. You remember when I said I kind of isolate myself? You know, it's kind of, you know, you have your close friends. I have my close friends, and that's who I talk to. But you also show love to everybody because it's also a good community. That's how it was, you know. Like you had a lot of time to yourself because there's only so many people. So it's like that's what I came up with. I was just making music while other people were cooking dope. Just kidding. No, just kidding. You know, I'm not judging. I'm not. We all gotta make a living. But I was cooking that dope music.
It is what it is, dude. I mean, I've had this conversation with Brown Boy Wonder. Shout out to you. We did an interview. Actually, his interview's dropping today. But we were talking about how, like, here in Hayward, sometimes there's this image of like everybody's a gangster, everybody's like a drug dealer, people are out to get you. So definitely, like, that's not everybody in Hayward, right? And sometimes when you don't, especially when you're young, when you don't subscribe to that lifestyle of like being a gangster, it's like, then as a Mexican, then who are you? Or like, why are you not? Or like, it's this really weird thing, right? Like, I had a friend, for example, and people always try to put us in boxes, but I had this friend, he's black, and he's really into like Asian culture. So like being told like, why are you almost like, oh, if you're not a gangster, if you're not this, like, then what are you doing? Like, why are you reading? Why are you this? Right? And so it's like, it's very weird how and I feel like you've talked about this as well, like crabs in a bucket, right? Yeah. Like, you're trying to like make it, you're trying to do something different, you're trying to make money doing what you love, and people don't understand it, so they try to like
Yeah, and that kind of comes with the whole small view type of thing. So it takes it kind of takes something to get out of that view where it's like on some haterism type of thing. Really, you know, that's all it is, and it's wild.
How do you think? I guess, I mean, focusing on yourself and just living your dreams, and actually working to make those things happen. But I guess, like, is there a cure to haterism?
Is there a cure to haterism?
Yeah.
Yes, I think there is. It is called humility. Just kidding. Nah. I think there is maybe we've all been there before, you know, and it takes outgrowing. I think it's just part of growth, self-growth, and because every relationship we have with every single person is ultimately like what we think of ourselves, you know what I mean? And it comes with security, being sure of who you are, what you want in life, you know, and maybe that comes with being misguided, you know, that comes with not knowing what you want, and you know, we're people that focus on ourselves, so we don't really focus on like, hey, you know, why do you want to leave? So.
Sometimes I feel like if you grow up in that environment, you kind of normalize it, and you think that, oh, that's just how it is. Like,
I think that's what I was trying to say. Yeah, that's, you kind of said it perfectly. Yeah, it becomes normalized, and until you're able to snap out of that view, maybe that's just what it is, and you almost sometimes see people never outgrow that, you know, type of thing. So it's crazy. That's why we gotta. That's why people need us. HayStack. That's why the people need us.
Yeah, dude. I feel like I'm just thinking about there's people that never have the chance to really work on their dreams or reach their full potential, and there could be a lot of like enviousness and jealousy there, and those are human emotions. Like, we just feel those as humans, right?
Yeah.
But then being able to move past that and grow, and really, like you said, humility, you know, having humility and having the understand that positive relationship first with yourself, you know, being able to be with yourself, and then being able to talk to the community and be an inspiration or be someone that is respected, right? And so I feel like that's something that it's taken me a long time to come to, but I'm very glad for the life experiences that I've had, so that I can grow and so that I can get out of this mentality of like hating on people, wishing I was somebody else, wishing like, oh, she has this, he has that, like, I want that, and like feeling seriously that hate, that envy, that jealousy. It doesn't feel good, but sometimes you don't know how to get out of it. So I'm very also thankful for like going to school, like having gone to San Jose State and having traveled and kind of like starting to get myself out of that. What really helps me a lot is books, watching interviews of artists that inspire me.
Art.
Yeah,
right?
art for
Freaking
sure.
art.
Creating, just write.
That's why I think art, I think maybe that's what art kind of supplies us with, is on some like, because art is sometimes like when you show your art, you're almost like vulnerable in a way. This is your art right here. This whole podcast right here, this is your art. So you're putting yourself out there, and that's kind of vulnerable in a way. And when you put yourself out there like that, you would start to understand people like, oh, why, like they're just trying to do their thing. Why am I gonna hear? Mm-hmm. So like, I think that I think art humbles you in a way. You know what I mean? In a way, like come to think about it, you're like talking about all this. I'm like, yeah, I think art does humble you, because you know at one point you're not always gonna be dope. Maybe at first starting off, but you know like with practice, like everything, you know.
You start molding yourself.
And you're like, you start to know, it's like, oh, well, that's what I was trying to do. That's where I was trying to go with that. Mm-hmm. And it all, mold. That's a perfect word for that. And
I'm thinking about Cardi B and how she talks about how she has a line in her new song "Money" that I love. She's amazing, but she talks about how I forget exactly how it goes, but she's saying that like the people that talk the most shit are the ones that don't have their shit together, you know. So it's like those people that are not even like putting themselves out there, risking themselves, going out and really getting their dreams. Those are the ones that are fucking hating on everybody. Mm-hmm. So it's like, what the fuck are you, brother? Whatever. You know?
Mess with Cardi B, that's crazy. Cause I've heard good things about her too. That even though she's like commercial now or whatever, in a way, I've heard great things about her coming out, and I haven't really taken the time to listen. But that's cool that you mentioned her right now.
I know there's a love-hate relationship with her in terms of like people, and everyone's entitled to their opinion. There's a youth that I work with that recently was like, I don't like Cardi B, like she'll talk out of her neck basically sometimes, and it's like, she is who she is, but at the same time, I feel like she very much she has something to say, like she's aware, like she understands. I like that she's criticized Donald Trump, you know, his hate towards immigrants. Her parents herself are immigrants from her mom's from Trinidad and her dad's from the Dominican Republic. So I like that we have like a woman of color out there that's so strong, so outspoken, and just being who she is, right? Exactly. And I love her line in Motorsport with fucking Migos, where she talks about how she's the Trapsolina. I'm like, yeah, dude, like actually, yeah, like she's that. Yeah, I agree. So she's dope.
Some bars, huh? I'm listening to some more interesting. But she's definitely a character, and like she's one of the main people that gets a lot of that hate. We were just talking about that, you know what I mean? Like we like to hate on these celebrities and shit. Like, why do we hate on these celebrities? Because of how they put themselves out there. People like to hate how she speaks, like criticize how she speaks, criticize how she looks. But yeah, that's super dope. Her bar, it's like haters are the ones that aren't doing much, and that's very true. That's really dope.
But art is super important to be able to start getting folks out of that mentality of, you know, it gives you a space to express yourself, right? And it's unfortunate that sometimes when there's cuts to schools or whatever it is, the art programs are the first to go because they're seen as non-essential, right? When in reality, art is like, but it's so key, right? And why are we cutting fucking funding from the things that are necessary, like education, public education, yet Trump is asking for $5.7 billion for his wall, right? And there's a current government shutdown, and it's like, okay, you start putting things together, you're like, we're living in ridiculousness right now. It's ridiculous.
Like, you almost think he's just like doing this as a like media stunt or something, man. Like, what's going on here? Like, what's happening?
I agree with Dave Chappelle. He's saving us on accident. Like, he really is like getting people pissed off, so that we can just get off our ass and fucking do something. Yeah. Because seriously, he's doing all these things to like provoke, you know. Very much so. Crazy.
Very much so. He is crazy. You almost think like you'd like to think he's a puppet for someone that's like moving him around, but then you think like, what if he's not? He's just crazy. Like, you know, there's so many ways.
And if someone's moving him around, then they're even more evil than he is.
Oh, definitely. Like, I mean, I don't want to talk about these things. My phone is on. They're listening, but nah.
Oh my god, dude, they are listening. They're listening. I have fucking Verizon. I know what you're doing, Verizon. Fucking spying on people and shit. Dude, they had connected with like the NSA. They found that Verizon had like worked with them to like spy on. It's like, you know.
It's wild, man.
Oh god. Okay, we're doing it, dude. There's also this fear that comes with like when you are somebody in the community that is standing up, that is standing your ground, that is about it. There is this risk to your life, so that's a very real like concern.
You're out there. You're getting out there. Unfortunately, yeah, we've seen it. We've seen it all happen all too often. You know, especially I don't know, like, yeah, it's wild when you put yourself out there like that.
Balance.
Yeah, that balance and really, yeah, connecting with people, but also gotta be careful out there. You're always watching your back.
So tell us about Fresno, the Bizarre Art Festival.
Oof, that was so fun.
That was yesterday.
That was the 6th annual one, but that was my second year there. This is done every year in honor of a graffiti artist, Bizarre, and his sister does it. He passed away. It was about 7 years maybe. And he started the Lord's graffiti crew, and it's it's really dope that she
and
does
it. And he was from Fresno.
He was from Fresno, yeah. And she does it in honor of him every single year. It keeps on getting better every year. It's really dope art that was out there. Bizarre Art Festival, yeah. If you ever have a chance, it happens in January usually every year. This is the 6th annual, and I'm sure they're gonna keep doing it because it's been really dope every year. Fresno, yeah, they have really dope graffiti, dope music going. I was lucky enough to have a set there. It went awesome. Killed some of my new stuff. They loved it. It was really fun. It's always a dope experience out there. Like, you get to connect with, like, it's a great opportunity for artists also, just like if there's any artists watching, it's just great to get out to shows like that and just talk to people,
Networking.
That's all networking is. Just say what's up, and like show love. If someone just did a set, go show love, and if you genuinely messed with it, and if you didn't, be like, whatever, but give some pointers, say what's up, I don't know, whatever. But there's always a piece that we can I'll take, like I said, and exposing yourself to these things, maybe you'll get something, something might go off in your mind, maybe it'll be good for you. So that's why I like getting out there. Bizarre Festival, super fun, man. Get out there sometime.
And I've talked to folks and how, so one of the folks that I talked to recently was Mr. Filthy, who I interviewed. He talked about, like, that's how it is in the music community. Like, a lot of it is just networking, genuinely connecting with people, and, like, if you really like what they're doing, let them know, and then that's how you connect, collaborate, whatever it is, and you find yourself getting these opportunities, hopefully, with the people that you're inspired by, right? And a lot of it is that. It's just connection.
Literally, just getting out there, showing love. Sometimes, you said collabing, that's a great way of collabing with them, but even then, if you don't collab with them, it's okay. Like, just mutually showing love to each other's stuff. Maybe at one point you have some videography skills that you do on the side that you can help them out with, and that's another way you build with each other. And maybe you meet someone there that can help you. It always happens like that. It always happens like that. So just don't turn up your neck whenever someone maybe wants to collab or whatever. Like, there's never, and you're never too big for nobody. I've seen the biggest artists work with, not seen, but you always hear about, this huge artist worked with this person because they heard, they connected in a random way and they weren't even like this big or whatever. But,
yeah. And it's happening for you with the X-Rated show.
Exactly.
And hopefully, and we never do things out of, like, you do your art because you love your art, you love what you do, right? We never do things out of, I'm gonna get something out of it. But at the same time, that's big. Like, you're working with an artist that you grew up listening to, right? So that will hopefully bring, obviously, now y'all are, like, have that connection, right? You're gonna, share the stage, right? And so hopefully that will bring you opportunities to get you closer to where you're trying to go in terms of, like, traveling the world, touring. You talked about being global, worldwide, right? So why not?
Yes, that's what it's all about. Getting out there and building with the people you mess with. So yeah, that's what it's all about.
What advice do you have 14, 15, 16-year-old youth from Castroville, from anywhere really, that are, you know, they love music. They don't know where to start. Like, maybe they had a similar experience as you in Castroville. Like, I don't know even where to start. Like, I don't have, like, the equipment. I don't have this.
Great question. Yeah. We all start with no equipment. That's just how it is. Look for some beats on YouTube. Just get out there, start writing. Just start doing it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're recording just yet. Record with what you have. Do the most with what you have. You guys all have your cell phones, using apps. Use it for. There's actually a lot of apps you can even get if you're
for free.
Yeah, for free, or even if you're lucky enough
cheap, like
that are super
whatever.
cheap that you can actually record through and get a decent recording, and you start to hear yourself. Oh, that's how my voice sounds. Okay, well, what do I want to do next time? And because we all have to start somewhere. No one's gonna start at the very top, and that's what I would say. And also, yeah, connecting. We've already talked about that. There's a lot of startup equipment that you can use once you start to really dive into it. That's cheaper than that. You don't always start with the best studio equipment. There's USB microphones that you get at one point, plug into your laptop, your older brother's laptop, and you can start recording there and get a free software program. Audacity is free. That's where you can record something, just Audacity. Yeah, that's a good startup. Look for free software. Always ways to do it. There's always ways that you can start. Just work with what you have. I think that's the key. I think that's what I'm trying to say, right? Work with what you have.
Take it away, people. One thing to keep in mind is that when you are an artist, or when you want to create something and you want to get to a certain place, you're not gonna, like you said, you're not gonna start off at the very top. You have to start somewhere. So sometimes, you know, and I've gone through this, like feeling like a fraud. Like, who do I think I am trying to create or trying to put myself out there, or trying to be this person that travels the world and shares her art and, you know, does all these things. Like what I see myself doing is dancing. I want to write. I want to do so many things. I just want to create. I want to get paid to tell stories, right? And so there was a point in my life where I was like, who do I think I am? Like, no one in my family does that. No one in my vicinity that I know really does that. Or if they do that, like, oh, they've been doing it for years. Like, why am I trying to start now, right? So there's definitely this, like, imposter syndrome that happens, right? It happened with me. And it might happen to younger artists that are barely starting off, right? And so have you gone through that, or like have you felt that, like, especially when you first started?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all, like, that's pretty on point. We all go through times where we doubt. We all have self-doubts. Do I want to keep going with this? But then, I don't know if you felt the same thing. It's like, well, if I don't keep going with this, I feel like that wouldn't be me. Really. But
yeah, for me, what it was is like, if I were to make it at whatever age I make it to, let's say I live until I'm 100, which is that would be a cool goal. Like, nothing's promised, but like that would be a cool goal. Like, but if I do make it to 100 and I never did all the things that I was curious about, I would definitely regret it, and my life would feel like, oh, I didn't do what I really wanted to do. Yes. I was too scared.
Yes, definitely. I think that would be the key. The feeling of regret. I don't want to be even like, I don't know, like even 5 years later from now, I'm just be at the same spot, quote unquote, that I'm in. When I know, I feel like there's something in me that wants to go for it. But I think we all go through those doubts, and a lot of the time it's when we're about to have a breakthrough. So it's wild how it happens. So you find that if you just keep on going, there's little light at the end right there. So don't ever stop that, you know. But yeah, I think that we all go through that. Through phases where it's like, well, what am I doing? You know, even right towards the middle of it, you have to maybe gather yourself. You've already done so much, and it's like, well, is that what I want to put out there? Maybe there might be doubts where maybe you have to like reimagine what you were doing, or get it out there in a different way, redeliver it, repackage it. It's interesting, but it's all about finding yourself, I think, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a very like lonely kind of solitary process to be able to be an artist, because like you can talk to other artists, but really like it is a lot of self-discovery, a lot of like time with yourself, a lot of like, I recommend going into nature and fucking like, I don't know, like doing shit like that. Like it helps a lot, but it is it's a lonely road, you know, when you're a person who creates, an artist, right?
Sometimes I bet it had to just be you and this desk in this room, and you had to start. You had to start somewhere, right?
Like somewhere.
Like
my first interview was with Malcolm. It was like 6 minutes.
No way, that's
and it was random because at that time I was doing Lyft, and I was like in Oakland, and then it had been in my heart to like do this. Like I want to interview people because like that just sounds fun. Like I like watching interviews. I like that idea of like, I want to eventually get to a place where I'm like, it's my job to go to music shows. It's my job to like read through books and review them. It's my job to like be at that center, right, of like talking to artists that are like up and coming and making it happen, right? And so it's like, okay, like I have to start somewhere. So I think I had already reached out to Malcolm, told a couple people, but I hadn't really like done it. He's like, I don't have a camera, I don't have this, I don't have that, blah, blah, blah. Like all these things, right? But like that day I was like, dude, I need to do it. So I fucking called him and I was like, dude, are you like free? Can I go to San Jose? Like I went to San Jose, I went to his place, like we recorded there. It was only 6 minutes because my battery, like my memory was like, I had hella shit in there that it only allowed 6 minutes. And he also had to go do something. So it was very like, bleh, but it was like, dude, okay, I just had to get it out the way. Like it was shitty as fuck, but I had to get it out of the way and just do it and start somewhere. So yeah. So Malcolm Lee.
We're doing drinks. Owe me water.
Oh yeah, water drinks. Do not drink soda, especially Coke. It fucking has so much sugar.
Same page.
Diabetes. No.
You guys see this?
That's take care of yourself, people.
He was one of those dudes when I was just coming into the scene. That was kind of already established in a way. I met him through an older friend of mine. He's also an artist from Boostive. Huge shout out, Al Bundy. He's a super dope rapper. He's Malcolm's homie, and that's why I met him through. Those are some of the people that when I was just diving in, like they kind of already had Santa Cruz on block, and like they were touring all over, like all over Cali, really, and. Yeah, shout out Malcolm, man. Those dudes always show love.
Super dope person. Good. You need to find those people in your life that are just like positive. No matter what's happening, it's just positive. They support you. They see what you're doing. They want help. You know, Malcolm's one of those people. You're one of those people. But definitely attracting those people into your life that just are positive. You know, they want to see you shine. They themselves want to shine. Let's help each other, you know.
It's wild, yeah. It's really like that. Going back to this connecting thing, and it's all manifesting destiny, connecting with the right people. You end up coming across those right people, you know, like you just said. So yeah, it's really dope.
Sir.
Really
dope. So con eso, any final words, any other thing that you might want to say to your fans, family, anybody who might be watching this?
Yeah, hi mom. Hola.
Hola. Hi,
but anyways, there's a lot to come, people. SouLar is coming. SouLar is about to land, sitting near you. There's a lot of projects coming. I want also big love, much love to Rosaura, man. You really have been supporting, you know, ever since I sent that. We've been mutual. I think the support's been mutual, and it's really dope. I've been checking out what you've been doing. You're also one of those people that inspire me. I see it every Sunday, every week, really, when you're putting yourself, you know, your stuff out there, your dances, your shows, and I'm like, yeah, she's getting out there. Like, let me go write a verse or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's really like that. Like seeing the people doing their thing, and every time I see that, it's really dope. So shout out.
Yeah, dude, thank you.
Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. There's a lot to come. Keep doing your thing, and y'all keep doing y'all thing. We're gonna be doing our thing.
We're gonna keep doing it until I die.
You know.
Can't not.
You know.
All right, people. So there you have it. We got SouLar, rapper, producer. You can find him at SouLar, onesoular.com, from Castroville. Peace. Have a great day. Bye.